ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
It is Wednesday, September 18th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line this hour is going to be 304-396-TALK. That's 304-396-8255. Coming up later on the program today, about 5:30, we're going to hear from Ryan Crisp. Ryan, of course, handles so many jobs. I'm not even going to say the title. Fan engagement being one of them. Of course, he's going to tell us all about what's happening in the next couple of weeks for the Thundering Herd. A lot of events, promotions going on. You know, we get the Hall of Fame game coming up. That's going to be pretty special. The 2014 teams coming back. And, of course, if you were with us, I believe it was last week, Ryan said that the 2014 team could beat the 1999 team. I think he said, well, was it 1999? Would we discuss that? Or was I throwing out there 1996? I'm thinking 1996 beats 2014. That's a fight I'm probably going to get started. That's coming up, of course, next week. So we'll talk to Ryan a little bit later on. There are a couple other things that Ryan's going to talk to us about. I'm going to keep the secret just for a few more minutes. It's pretty cool. So he'll join us in about 25 minutes or so. We'll talk to him. And a little bit later on, we're going to hear from Jaden Yates. Jaden, of course, a legacy product. You all know his dad, right? Max Yates. He was a pretty good guy. He was okay on defense, I hear. So you get that family connection. We're going to hear a little bit more from Jaden later on. I had a chance to catch up with him during our media availability. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. Of course, we'll get your text in as well. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Okay, so we got to go over all the big stuff, all the big news. The first big news that came out of yesterday's presser with Coach Huff is that Marshall now has a new NIL deal. That's right. Marshall has its very own unique to Marshall NIL program, and it's designed to attract the very best and brightest from Ohio State to come play for the Herd. Coach had some jokey jokes yesterday, and one went viral. It got picked up nationally. It got picked up by Brett McMurphy, ESPN. I'm sure there are outlets out there that I even missed that picked this up. So Coach doing a great job getting the word out about the Thundering Herd. And, of course, if I'm Tudor's Biscuits right now, I'm loving Coach Huff. Free breakfast for at least a year. Every morning there's going to be a Thundering Herd biscuit, maybe two, I don't know. Whatever else Coach likes, I would have that right there. He comes in, right there, there's Tudor's Biscuits for Coach Huff because this got so much play. And if you're not familiar with what happened, Coach was talking about he liked his guys. He's talking about repetition, and then he just started talking about, our guys need repetition, comparing it to the NFL where, you just tell those guys to play and they go out and do it, or they get somebody else that can do it. With college students, you need repetition. You got to practice plays. There's a difference here. And then he said, but I like our guys. And then he started talking about the Ohio State guys, and one thing led to another. Coach offered unlimited Tudor's Biscuits to Ohio State football players, and here's what he said that went viral.
Would love to have some of those guys from Ohio State, too. So if they want to transfer on down, we've got a Tudor's Biscuit NIL, all you can eat. So if any of those guys that run really, really fast at Ohio State like Tudor's Biscuits, I promise you, all you can eat all day if you transfer here.
I'm going to tell you right now, Coach, if they're eating Tudor's Biscuits all day, all they can eat, they're not going to run very fast. Or they're going to have to run fast because I'll tell you right now, you get the Thundering Herd, you get a Thundering Herd for breakfast, that's going to hold you for a while. Absolutely. Or you get something else. I mean, I don't know about you. I don't know if there are any other biscuits at Tudor's Biscuits World. The Thundering Herd's the go-to for me. I know there's the Peppy. Some people get the Mountaineer. I don't know what your favorite biscuit is. We'll discuss it. What is your favorite biscuit from Tudor's Biscuit World? I'm sure the Thundering Herd has to be your go-to, and if it's not, I want to hear the reason why. But if Ohio State players are coming to Huntington to play for the Thundering Herd and they're eating all-day Tudor's biscuits, unlimited, I don't know how fast they're going to be. Or they're going to have to burn it off, man. I'm telling you, you can go all day with a Tudor's biscuit. That's the go-to for me. I tell everyone, hey, if you come to Huntington and you've never eaten at Tudor's Biscuit World, go get yourself a Thundering Herd. It's a must. It's like a rite of passage. So that was a pretty interesting comment he made yesterday that went viral. And that's the name of the game. You got to go viral these days. So I'm sure that got a lot of play, not only for Marshall, not only for Coach Huff and his brand, creating value, as they like to talk about. But, of course, if I'm Tudor's Biscuit World, I'm loving all the attention I'm getting right now. The other thing that we're going to talk more about it on Saturday during our pregame, but Coach pointed out a couple of times that Ohio State is so good at home that the last time they lost to a non-power team was in 1939. That's the last time they lost in a non-Power 5 versus Ohio State scenario. Well, the details are off on that. We put the research staff to work on this one. Now, here's what Coach Huff said, just hyping it up, because, again, it's a big opportunity for the Herd to go into Columbus and get that win. So here's Coach Huff hyping it up.
The last time a Group of 5 program beat them in the Horseshoe was 1939, Iowa pre-flight. I'm not even sure what colors Iowa pre-flight wore. But obviously they've done a really good job playing at home. So tremendous opportunity on the national stage.
It is a big opportunity. You go in, you're probably bringing a lot of Tudor's biscuits with you that day, and you're trying to be the first team that is a non-power school to beat Ohio State since 1939. Iowa pre-flight. What? Wait a minute. We got the details wrong here. First of all, we did the research. To the best of our knowledge, Iowa pre-flight's colors, they were the Seahawks, by the way. Their colors were likely navy blue and gold because that would have reflected their affiliation with the United States Navy. Those colors were consistent with the branding of the Navy's training programs during World War II. So we don't have definitive evidence of that, but that seems to be the best we can come up with. Possibly colors of navy blue and gold. Now, Iowa pre-flight during World War II, the United States Navy established the pre-flight training programs at select universities, including the University of Iowa, in 1942. These programs focused on military training and physical fitness, which included highly competitive football teams. The Iowa pre-flight Seahawks played from 1942 to 1944, and they did field a lot of players, and these were college players. These were college standouts. These were also military servicemen. And believe it or not, there's an Ohio to Iowa pre-flight connection. That's a tease I'm saving for Saturday. But I can tell you, though, that Iowa pre-flight played Ohio State twice, 1942 and 1943. There was a victory one of those years. But 1939, different loss. It's not Iowa pre-flight that got the victory in 1939. Cornell defeated Ohio State in 1939, beat them 23-14 back on October 7th of 1939. This is one of the rare losses for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Iowa pre-flight The Seahawks got the win over Ohio State 1943. It was a 28-13 victory over the Buckeyes. This was Ohio State's last loss to a non-Power 5 opponent at Ohio Stadium. I've got so much info about this. We're going to save a lot of it for the rest of the week. We're going to save a lot of it for Saturday. But now you know. Cornell in 1939 got the victory. And then Iowa Pre-Flight got the final non-power conference school victory over Ohio State in Columbus a few years later. So now you know. October 9th, 1943. Maybe the Herd can come in and be the next team. And then 50 years from now, we'll be talking about Marshall being the last team that beat Ohio State from a non-autonomy or Power 5 or Power 4, a group of 5, whatever the label will be. Maybe Marshall's the trivia question we're going to be talking about. All right, Ryan Crisp is coming on next. We're going to talk to him, get an update on what's happening with the Thundering Herd. We've got the Hall of Fame to talk about, Hall of Fame weekend. Also, the reunion of the 2014 team, among other, I think, fun and interesting details that he's about ready to drop. Hint, I know one of them. And it involves a famous name in Marshall history. That's a tease. I'll give you the answer when we continue on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Hey, Tri-State, there is a place to shop at. The Huntington's Peddlers Mall is now open in the historic Central City District in Huntington. Over 200 vendors specializing in vintage antiques, home decor, furniture, collectibles, new mattresses, and everything in between. Peddlers Mall, located 800 14th Street West in Huntington. It's the place to go. Open 7 days a week. Visit anytime. Check out the website, peddlersmall.com, for more information. It's the Tri-State place to shop, Huntington's Peddlers Mall.
You've cut back on everything and you're still coming up short at the end of the month. Give your local State Farm agent a call for a free discount double check. They'll show you how something as simple as combining car and home policies can save you hundreds of dollars a year. Being there to help keep more of your money is why your local State Farm agent is here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In Huntington, John Garden, 304-525-1116. And in Barbersville, Marcia Slater, 304-736-6100.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union has been serving the Huntington community for 70 years and is proud to announce our newest location in Lavalette is now open. Wayne County residents, you now have access to a modern banking facility, a full range of services, advanced technology, expert financial advice, and even a smart coffee kiosk cafe. Learn more about Metro Community Federal Credit Union online at metrocommunityfcu.com or visit us today on 5th Street Road.
Equal housing lender, member NCUA.
Giovanni's Pizza. Fresh, hot, and tasty. Have it delivered right to your door. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-878-6993. 800-878-6993. 800-878-6993.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year again, football season. Frank's has you covered from Marshall, WVU, the rest of college football to the NFL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to our Wednesday edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Let us go to the text line. Texter says, Paul, I noticed how numerous Ohio State fans commented on Coach Huff's football knowledge and professionalism and how they could see him as a future head coach for the Buckeyes. That's interesting. Also, pancakes at Tudor's are the bomb. Forget the biscuits. No, we cannot forget the biscuits. Absolutely not. That is not happening. Let's be joined now by a guy who I'm sure is loving every moment of the viral nature of Coach Huff's press conferences, and that is Ryan Crisp. He is the Associate Athletics Director for Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, and Fan Engagement. He now joins us on the program. Come on. You planted that, right? You set that up. That was some sort of marketing black ops there for you and your department, right? Because that thing went viral. You knew what you were doing, Ryan.
It went well, and it's good for our football program, good for Coach Huff, and good for Marshall University, and definitely good for Tudor's Biscuit World.
You know, the thing is, I would give you all the credit for that, but I know Coach Huff by now. That was on top of his head and on the fly right there. And he was probably thinking of Tudor's Biscuits at that time, too. And would you take the biscuit over the pancake or the pancake over the biscuits? I say biscuits.
So me personally, I'm a big tater guy when I go to Tudor's, which comes with the biscuit.
Right.
So I take the biscuit and I crumble it up within the big tater, and it is tremendous. But I will tell you that Coach Huff's marketing mind is maybe better than anyone's. And so he's very good at that stuff, and he has a purpose, and he's really, really good at what he does. And so, that was all Coach Huff, and he's good at the marketing side. He's really good at that.
He is very good. I still will die on the hill that the Thundering Herd is the best, not only because it's the Thundering Herd, but you get the egg, you get the cheese, you get the sausage, and you get the tater on top. You get the potato on top, and
it's the entire package.
It is the entire package, and you have to probably get a plate and a knife and a fork to eat that, because I don't know a human being that can actually just bite into that. You have to take that thing apart and eat it like it's a meal on a plate. It's that good.
And use the old knife and fork, yeah.
So Ryan's with us because we got a lot to get into. Of course, last week, Ryan causing backlash, thinking that the 2014 team would be able to beat the 1996 team, and I'm sure he's not moving from that stance, especially since we got the Hall of Fame game coming up. A lot of Herd athletes will be honored, and it's going to be a special time to welcome all of those people back. And on top of that, we're getting the 2014 team. The reunion is happening. One of the all-time great teams at Marshall football, and you're a big fan of the 2014 team, so let's start there. Hall of Fame weekend, we got the dinner coming up and a lot of other activities surrounding it.
Yeah, no, it's going to be, I think, a very exciting weekend. Friday night is the Hall of Fame dinner. Tickets are available for purchase still to the general public. You can find them on herdzone.com. But, a very, very exciting class, once again, maybe for me personally, just because a lot of these athletes were here when I was here. And so it's more of a younger class in terms of a lot of these athletes were in the last, 10 to 15 years when they competed at Marshall. But 9 inductees going into the Hall of Fame. And so a really exciting class for sure. And then because 2 of those guys were on the 2014 football team, it made sense to do their 10-year reunion on this game as well. And so obviously a Conference USA championship team from 2014 coming back into town. And so they'll be there Saturday before the game over at the M Club Pavilion, and then we'll honor them on the field. And they'll be hanging out Always hard to tell even this far out, but it's looking maybe like 30 to 35 guys will be in attendance. And so it should be a really good weekend and a trip down memory lane for some people for sure.
Now, Hall of Fame weekend's changed a little bit. This used to be an annual event. Now we're doing it, correct me if I'm wrong, it's going to be biannual now. It's going to be every other year. That's still correct, right?
That's correct, yeah. Every other year, a few more inductees per year and all that kind of stuff. And so a little more exclusive for sure. And, yeah, every other year the classes are going to be inducted.
Why did we want to do it once every 2 years? What was maybe the thought process behind that instead of just having maybe smaller classes on a yearly basis?
Yeah, I think just making it more exclusive and making the event bigger in general terms. And so if you're going to host a dinner every year, you might as well do it with the most number of people possible. And so having the 9 inductees, 8 from the regular induction sheet and then 1 from the Legends Club, it just makes sense to do it every other year and honor them in the right way and make sure we can do it as big as possible.
Ryan Crisp is with us. Ryan, of course, is a very popular man at Marshall University because he wears several hats. He is the Associate Athletics Director for Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, and Fan Engagement. So we've got the Hall of Fame dinner, opportunity for fans to be a part of that. That's pretty special. The 2014 reunion where those guys are going to be gathering and hopefully getting a chance to catch up with fans, young and old. I mean, it's only 2014. It feels like it was a long time ago, but it really wasn't that long ago. These guys were winning that Conference USA championship. So I'm sure they're excited to come back. Is there anything else special going on, or is it just going to be pretty low-key throughout the weekend with those guys?
Yeah, no, with those guys, pretty low-key with them. We do have something for the Western Michigan game that we haven't even announced publicly yet, but we do have Marlena Van Hoos coming back to sing the national anthem, which I know is a fan favorite. And the last couple of times she's sang it at any Marshall event, she's dropped the mic. And so it's going to be a very, very special pregame with her. And we're so thankful for her and her family for, coming to our games and sharing her talents with us. And so we're excited. And I know other people will be too to hear that she's coming back to sing the anthem for that game.
See, I thought J.R. Van Hoos was coming back, not Marlena. J.R.
Unfortunately, the good Van Hoos is coming,
Wow. Did you actually say the good Van Hoos and not mean J.R. Van Hoos?
She's her talents are undeniable, that's for sure.
Okay, if you're going to put the two Van Hooses together in a singing contest, I'm taking Marlena. But I think J.R. posts up on her all day.
He's got a little height advantage there.
Just
I think.
a little
so
bit.
I think he
just
would
a little
probably
bit.
take the basketball.
I don't know.
Court.
She might have some game there, but that's pretty special. She's a pretty big deal. I think a lot of people who maybe saw her for the first time looked at her and thought, okay. And then when she opened up and started singing, everyone was blown away. And we would just like her to come back every game day.
We would. We're very spoiled that she's local, and I mean she's sang the national anthem all around the United States for lots of sporting events. And I remember, I think it was maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when we had her for the first time at a basketball game, and she came for a sound check, and she opened her mouth for the first time and started singing, and I was in shock from the immediate moment that she opened her mouth. And she is so talented, and it's going to be a great pregame with her and singing the national anthem.
Ryan Crisp is our guest, the Thundering Herd getting set for the Hall of Fame weekend. And, of course, we got Western Michigan as well. And there are a lot of initiatives that are going on right now. So many, of course. That's why Ryan's got to come on and tell us about all the great things. It's an embarrassment of wealth. And I know one thing that has come back and has been really popular is This Home is Heard. Another year of it, bigger and better, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. We got more yard signs. Thankful with our partners with United Bank, and you can pick up the yard signs at the local United Bank locations as well as the ticket office has them. We have more yard signs. It's a great community initiative to spread the word of the herd and get those. Every time I drive around town, I still see even ones that we did 2 years ago out and about. So I'm excited to see these signs popping up all over town. And definitely some great prizes. So when you pick up your yard sign, there's a little QR code on there. You scan that. You say, hey, I put this in my yard because I want my home to be heard. There's 6 different prizes I think that you can win. Probably the one I'm most excited about is both our basketball teams have agreed to come and deliver season tickets to your doorstep. So we'll do that for a couple of winners where the basketball teams will show up and deliver you some season tickets for you to enjoy throughout the year. And obviously a very special and unique experience there with the team showing up and ringing your doorbell.
And all you have to do is get the sign, right? Nothing else. You don't have to get into any competition. You just make sure that the sign is visible and you can see it, and they're entered and ready to go.
That's right. And the signs are completely free. Thanks to our friends at United Bank, they're completely free, so no charge at all. And like I said, I think it's just great to see all the houses and see all the yard signs spread throughout the Huntington community. It's really special, and just helps us quite a bit with our marketing.
I think you should get into a little neighborhood competition, at least within Huntington itself. Maybe get the neighborhood associations involved, see which neighborhood could have the most yard signs visible. What do you think?
We got to get the HOAs to allow the This Home Is Heard too. Like I know yard signs aren't allowed, but we got to get the This Home Is Heards on the approved list.
Look, if you're in an HOH and you're not for the herd in Huntington, I invalidate your HOH. I'm sorry. That covenant is invalidated by me.
No, I think it's great. And, I know our neighborhoods will pick up on it. And I know on the routes that I drive, I see them quite a bit. So I know as people are driving through town and stuff, they see them. And, it's just a special and unique thing for sure to help show your support of Marshall and help spread our brand.
My guest is Ryan Crisp. He handles it all. He's the Associate Athletics Director for Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, and Fan Engagement. However, there's one title to his credit that he does not have, and he is not a member of the NCAA Division I Committee on Infractions. That goes to his boss. That was released earlier today. And so Marshall Athletic Director Christian Spears will be a member of the Division I Committee on Infractions. So does that mean penalties can be handed out to you and me?
I don't think he's worried about you and me, but I do think he gets to help out a little bit on the NCAA as a whole. And if somebody makes a boo-boo, he gets to help decide what the repercussions are of that. That nomination to that committee just goes to show how well regarded Christian is in the athletic world committee. And he actually has a law degree from Ohio State and has a little bit of a compliance background, so it makes sense for him to be on that committee. And so I know he was super pumped to get that. And once again, just how well regarded he is within the Athletics World Committee. We're actually a couple of weeks, we're headed to a conference that he's speaking at. And so a great opportunity for Christian, once again, not only to, help the NCAA by their guidelines, but also just help the Marshall brand. And every time he gets on one of those committees, he gets to tell our story and gets to tell everyone across the country what we're doing here at Marshall, which is special and will help us for years to come.
You got to be loving the brand right now. You always love the brand, but you got to be loving it right now, especially with Coach Huff going viral. Of course, talking up the Ohio State game. I'm sure Christian for one day is going to turn a blind eye to any of his past associations with Ohio State just for that, at least that one day. Maybe more. Depends on how the outcome of the game concludes. How big Marshall beats Ohio State. He might just completely disavow them after this one. We don't know.
That's right. No, the brand's a good spot. A couple of top 10 number one plays on SportsCenter the last couple of weeks, and Coach Huff's little press conference video, and it's definitely a strong brand all the time. But when you have these moments, you get to understand a little more and realize how big the brand is.
How important is that? You get one now and then top 10 play, that's great, but you're seeing this happen more and more. You're seeing moments like this. What are the tangible benefits? How do you measure and how do you track what those tangible benefits are? Because I know that's important for you and what you're trying to do in growing Marshall University.
It is. We'll do the analytics on Coach Huff's as we get a couple weeks down the road and get a little more of the information. I can tell you by the top 10 plays that were posted by each of them, it was over 2 million impressions that were made through each of those, so 4 million between the two. After the first football game, just from the time the game started, the time the game ended, we had 1.5 million impressions just on our social media alone. So when you see those kind of numbers, not only does it go to show the support that we have in our fan base and how big and how strong it is, but it also just a little pat on the back from our external department in terms of what we're doing and how we're putting our brand out there and how we're capturing these moments and how we're sharing them on social media. It helps validate a little bit of our plan and making sure that we're staying in our plan, and our plan has a purpose and it's working.
Ryan Crisp is with us. Very busy man. He is in charge of all things that are fan engagement, ticket sales. He's also your director of annual giving, and he is with us once a week. Anything else maybe you want to surprise us with or drop on us that we might need to touch upon? I know we got Hoops in Huntington coming up in a few weeks, and I'm sure down the road we'll have more details. But anything else maybe we missed before we let you go?
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty much it. A couple of busy weeks. Hoops in Huntington, as you mentioned, October 3rd. And then there is a soccer doubleheader on September 29th. Fans may remember Hertoberfest from last year. And Hertoberfest is back this year in September 29th. A little different this year in terms of some of the activities. Not ready to release what the activity is yet or what the feature is yet. But I promise you it'll be a really good one, a super unique one, and one that our fans will appreciate.
Ryan Crisp is with us. He joins us at least once a week to get us updated on everything that's happening with the herd. Ryan, thanks, buddy, for doing this. I appreciate you as always, and we'll do it again next week.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate it, Paul. Go herd.
That is Ryan Crisp, everyone. He's got a busy job, but he handles it well, and there are a lot of fun activities happening for the Thundering Herd. Quick timeout. We come back. We're going to hear a little bit from Jaden Yates. Of course, you know the name Yates, right? His dad, Max, he was an okay player for the Thundering Herd. He did a few things with the herd. We'll hear from Jaden Yates when we continue on this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Thoroughbred Express Car Wash. Sign up today and your first month of any membership plan is just $10. Any single wash or membership includes Howard Vacuums, Rhino Mac Cleaner, Cleaner Spray, Microfiber Towels, Bay Trash Cans, and even Air Purge Gun Tools. Follow us online at thoroughbredexpress.com, Facebook, and Instagram for all updates, news, and promos. Thoroughbred Express Car Wash, where every wash is an adventure and every day is a shining opportunity. Check out our locations at Howell Greer Boulevard, Route 60, Hurricane, Hayes Valley, Cross Lanes, Charleston, South Point, Ashland, and Maysville.
At Poca Valley Bank, a handshake can still mean the start of a great relationship. We've been greeting customers with a handshake since 1908. Why settle for less? If you're purchasing your first home or planning for your future, Poca Valley Bank is here to support you with personalized service and local expertise. They are your trusted advisors. Why settle for less when you can experience banking with a team that truly cares? Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Progressive covers pets in our auto policy at no extra charge. Now let's hear what your dog has to say.
As a dog, I think Progressive's auto pet policies. Oh, what is that? That's just my tail. Weird. Anyway, Progressive protects. There it is again. See? This is why I need protection. I'm so distracted. Nope, that is still my tail.
Progressive Auto Insurance covers pets for up to $1,000 in a car accident at no extra charge. And we think your dog would say that's great too. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage for cats and dogs included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kitty Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Now is the time to add on a new bathroom or remodel your old one with the latest up-to-date bathroom fixtures from Mutual Wholesalers, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Basement Authority of West Virginia. We put water back in its place. Go to basementauthorityofwv.com. License number WV0274735067.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
Our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Let's go back to the text line before we hear from Jaden Yates. We've been talking, of course, about how viral Coach Huff went with his NIL deal. It's a heck of a deal. If you're an Ohio State player and you're one of those fast guys, if you want to come to Marshall, there is an NIL deal for you. It's unlimited. Tudor's Biscuits. This cut went viral. If you haven't heard it, here's what Coach Huff said.
Would love to have some of those guys from Ohio State, too. So if they want to transfer on down, we've got a Tudor's Biscuit NIL, all you can eat. So if any of those guys that run really, really fast at Ohio State like Tudor's Biscuits, I promise you, all you can eat all day if you transfer here.
So all day, all you can eat. I just don't think that's a great deal, but it might be counterproductive because if those guys are getting unlimited Tudor's Biscuits, they might not be moving as fast as you want them to after they take advantage of that deal. But it's a heck of a deal, Coach, going viral with that. We were asking, of course, on the text line, what's your favorite meal at Tudor's Biscuit World? I'd live and die on the Thundering Herd. Texter said right now, Thunder Melt. The melted cheese is a must. Got to have melted cheese. Yeah, absolutely. If it's not melted, make them melt it for you. And they will. So your favorite meal, your go-to at Tudor's Biscuit World, if you were getting an NIL deal, what would it consist of? 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. So I had a chance to catch up with Jaden Yates. Jaden, of course, getting set for, I think, an emotional game, but you really couldn't tell it by talking to him. He's not one of these guys that, is jumping up and down, just full of nervousness or, this is a big deal. Of course, Jaden, part of Marshall legacy. His father is Max Yates. We all know Max, standout defensive player for the Thundering Herd. Max Yates, one of the all-time greats. So that's a big legacy to have on you if you're a player. And Jaden knows the score, and he came to Marshall. He is from a place that is about 10 miles northeast of Ohio Stadium. I bet you didn't know that. He's from Ghana, Ohio. It's a suburb of Columbus. So 10 miles northeast of Ohio Stadium. It's right there in his backyard. So this is going to be a big deal, right? He's going to be playing in front of family, friends. A lot of people are going to know him. A lot of people will remember him. So he's going to be just right outside of his hometown playing in Ohio Stadium, playing in the Shoe. This is a big game. It's going to be on television, not just ESPN Plus or CBS Sport. It's going to be on Fox Sports. You get the big noon kickoff, the big-time game for Fox. That's one of their major brands. And so there'll be a lot of people watching the Ohio State game with Marshall. And so you would think that Max being a big deal at Marshall, and his son wanting to go out there and be a big deal, would be all fired up and just excited. I'll give you a hint. He is excited, but for him, and I like the attitude actually, it's just another game.
I mean, obviously, for one reason or another, I mean, everybody's kind of excited, ready to go. I start team-wise. I mean, like you said, I quote-unquote big game. But, I mean, I think important thing is to just kind of next game on a schedule mentality. I mean, all it is another Saturday, whether it's at 12, whether it's in Columbus, whether it's in Arkansas. I mean, it's just another Saturday game that everybody's kind of looking forward to. Me in particular, on a personal level, I'm from there, Columbus. I've been around the Ohio State kind of fandom for a couple years now. So, I mean, it's always fun going back home. I'm sure there'll be a lot of faces in the stands that I'm pretty familiar with, a lot of faces on the other sideline I'm familiar with. But, just kind of stay in that mentality of it's just another game, man. Another opportunity for us to go and create value for ourselves, another opportunity for us to go play the game we love. So everybody's excited.
He's excited, but it's another Saturday. Doesn't matter the opponent, doesn't matter location. So pretty even kill. Now, he's had a great season so far. I mean, I know we're a couple games in, but he's a highlight of the season already. Leads the Marshall defense with 20 total tackles through the first 2 games of the season. So he's starting to show why he's an impact player for Marshall, and he's going to be someone that I'm sure Marshall's going to lean on to be there, because this is going to be a tough challenge for him as a defensive leader for the Thundering Herd. He is going to be called upon. But it's been an interesting journey for him, working his way into that starting lineup during these first couple weeks, and even going back to a little bit from last season.
I mean, me personally, kind of like you said, it was always about getting my foot in the door at first. I mean, special teams definitely played a big part in that for me last year. It's just I found the hardest part for a lot of people is just getting on the field initially. So for me to be able to use special teams last year as a way to kind of springboard myself into a position to now be able to come in and fight for that starting spot definitely meant a lot. But the success that I have had these last couple of games, the success as a defense that we've had, like you said, I mean, it's kind of, I don't want to say expected, but we put all the work in. You've been working for the last 19 years of your life at a certain goal, at a certain craft. I mean, if you don't reap the rewards at some point, it's kind of like, well, dang. So I feel like the success we've had as a unit, success we've had as a team, the success I've had in particular, I feel like it's coming at a time that it needs to come. It's coming at a time that people have kind of expected us to be able to have success on our side of the ball as we have in the past couple of years.
Yeah, he's going to be called upon. This is going to be a tough challenge for the Thundering Herd. Okay, one more from Jaden before we hit the break. Simple question, right? What stands out about Ohio State? We know they're big. We know they're fast. We know Coach Huff is offering up unlimited biscuits to get some of those fast players to come play for the Thundering Herd. But Jaden talked about how it is a big brand of football. I mean, let's be quite clear. This is not Virginia Tech. This is a national program. This is Ohio State, one of the elite football brands in America. And so Jaden understands that you're going to have a lot of good players because Ohio State football, it is a big brand of football.
I mean, obviously Ohio State's a big brand of football. I mean, they got some guys from top to the bottom of their roster that at any given play, any given moment can do some special things with the ball. I feel like a big part that we need to do in order to get comfortable, settle into the game is kind of understand that. I feel like a big thing for me in this whole underdog type game is really just understanding that, come to terms with a lot of the realities that can end up happening. Reality is I guess whatever supposed to be bigger, faster, stronger. Another reality is that we got some guys on our side of the ball too that work just as hard, if not harder, that just as talented, if not more talented. So I mean, give props where it's due, but at the end of the day, I feel like with this team, with this unit that we have, everybody got to spot the ball. Got to play first, second, third, fourth down. Kind of just get to come out there and I guess, for lack of a better term, simulate the game. You still got to play at the end of the day. You still got to play ball.
Pretty straightforward. That is Jaden Yates. We'll hear a couple more from him on the other side of the break. Text lines 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. From the text line, Paul, my go-to for Tudors and Ironton every weekend is the classic breakfast. Appreciate the text. Can't go wrong with the classic breakfast. Is there actually something that you would order from Tudors that isn't good? That's a trick question because the answer is no. I haven't had a bad biscuit, or you know what? The loaded sausage breakfast wrap is really good as well, so you can't go wrong. And again, if you're trying to attract football players to come play for the Thundering Herd, that's the best NIL deal that I've heard in a long time. We've got more from Jaden Yates, and we've got more from you. Our text line continues at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Are you tired of the blazing sun beating down on you while you drive? Well, say goodbye to heat and glare with ProTint, your Lumar Formula One tint installer. ProTint's premier window tinting not only keeps you cool and comfortable, but also protects your vehicle's interior from fading and cracking. ProTint guarantees a flawless installation every time. Choose ProTint for a sleek, stylish look, unbeatable UV protection, and customer service. Visit WV ProTint on Facebook today.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kitty Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Save big on your next project right now at Menards. Save time on your paint project with help from Duck Clean Release Painter's Tape. Use on walls, trim, glass, wood, or metal for clean removal and clean paint lines every time. Save big and get a 3-pack of Duck Clean Release Painter's Tape on sale now through September 22nd. And don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Fall is the best time to plant trees. MonPower and Potomac Edison are here with tips to help you plant smart. Let shade trees lower your electric bills. Carefully positioned trees can reduce a home's energy consumption for heating and cooling by up to 25%. For more tree planting tips, visit firstenergycorp.com. This message sponsored by First Energy, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and the station.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year again, football season. Frank's has you covered from Marshall, WVU, the rest of college football to the NFL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
It's our final segment for today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. With our text line this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We've had a fun show so far. We've heard a little bit from Jaden Yates. Also, we got caught up on everything that's been happening with the Thundering Herd. Big weekend coming up with the Hall of Fame. And, of course, the 2014 team is coming back. And they're probably going to have a word with me when I said the 1996 team can beat them. I was not joking. It would be a close game. Don't get me wrong, but I'm taking 96 over the 24 team. But they're both great teams, so we don't have to fight. But Ryan Crisp, of course, the guy that got it started there. 2014 team should be fun. Those guys were pretty special here at Marshall University. Our text line one more time, 304-396-TALK. Of course, the big text question of the day has been about your go-to at Tudor's Biscuit World. Now that there are NIL deals out there that Coach Huff has initiated for unlimited Tudor's Biscuit World for fast players. I wonder if that's just an Ohio State NIL deal. I wonder if a potential recruit would come in and say, Coach, I want the Tudor's Biscuit NIL deal. I wonder if Coach would go, okay, let's make that happen. Let's make that happen. So that's going to be a big one there for sure. I'll tell you what, it's going to be fun these next few weeks because Coach Huff going viral for what Coach Huff does. I don't think he's going to sit and just have a note card with the Coach Huffisms, but he has jokes. We might see a few more of them. We'll see what he comes up with Western Michigan. Let's hear a little bit more from Jaden Yates before we call it a day. We've been talking about Jaden. Of course, he's a legacy player. His father, Max Yates, one of the all-time greats at Marshall University. We don't use that statement lightly. He is an all-time great here at Marshall. And speaking of his dad, pretty big legacy. He's one of those guys you're going to be talking about even now or 20 years from now. He was just one of those bigger-than-life players, meant a lot for the Thundering Herd. And Jaden has talked about how he wants to make his own way. He wants to establish his own imprint, his own footprint, if you will. And the great thing about him is he has that family support from his dad, and it's great to have, but he also has that desire to not live and ride on his father's name. He wants to make his own mark, and he's not afraid to go about doing it.
Yeah, obviously, I knew what I was kind of getting into going into it. Obviously, Pops played up here. He did a lot of great things, had a lot of success. But having him in my corner as a support system to kind of lean on, having mom, little sister, everybody around in the building to kind of lean on as a support system, it makes things a little easier to deal with. At the end of the day, I kind of got to I can't rely on his first or last name. At the end of the day, I'm putting on the helmet, I'm putting on the shoulder pads. I'm the one who's going out there making calls, making plays. This ain't 1998, whenever he played anymore. It's 2024, So, there's definitely some things that I go to him. Hey, however this play, how I think I should play that. But at the end of the day, it's all about me and the guys I'm with on the field. That's the only things I can really focus on. But I definitely do appreciate, having people to be able to lean on when things might get a little tough or whatever.
Yeah. You want to go out and make your own mark. At the same time, you respect where you came from. You respect your family. You respect what your father did. That's very important. But he's not expecting to get by based on that name. So he's an exciting player, definitely one to keep an eye on. I think when it's all said and done, he's absolutely going to create his own mark and his own legacy. Should be as good, hopefully for his sake, might be even better than his father's. I'm sure everybody's rooting for that. We're done. Don't forget, if you missed anything today, you'd like to go back anytime and catch an episode. If you couldn't listen live, you can do it on our webpage. You can go to WRVC.com. Also, you can get the podcast not only at the website, but on Apple Podcasts. It's Spotify. It's just wherever you get your podcast. You can listen to the show. Just do a search for The Drive with Paul Swann, and you can listen to past episodes, including this one, if you missed anything or you just want to go back and listen to something again. You can also download our app at WRVC.com. That is a great place to start because you can listen to the station live, stream it live on your phone, and there's also a tab on the app you can download and listen to the latest podcast right there. Thanks to Ryan Chris for joining us today. We'll be back tomorrow here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Have a great night, everyone.
Retransmitting in glorious FM on 94.1 W227BS Huntington. This is 930 WRVC Huntington, celebrating 100 years of broadcasting.